Women with a strong sex drive do this. Ever wondered what subtle, almost hidden behaviors reveal that a woman has a naturally strong sex drive? Science has uncovered some fascinating clues, and they're not the obvious ones you've already heard about. In fact, the patterns might surprise you. Because while most people think it's all about confidence or how someone flirts, the real giveaways are much more nuanced. Today, we're counting down the lesser-known, science-backed signals that a woman with a high sex drive often shows in her everyday life. And trust me, the final one will completely change the way you see attraction forever. If you're new here, welcome. We share daily dating advice for men. Leave your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to keep improving. 20. She gravitates toward novelty without realizing it. Psychological studies show that individuals with higher sexual motivation are more drawn to new experiences, not just in relationships, but across life in general. Notice how some women are always eager to try a new cuisine, a different route home, or a random adventure on a weeknight? That openness is actually correlated with sexual novelty seeking. It's not about being reckless. It's about the brain wiring itself to crave stimulation and variety. And when that wiring shows up in everyday choices, it often mirrors what's happening beneath the surface. But novelty seeking is only the start, because the next one takes it from choice into body chemistry. 19. She recovers from stress unusually fast. Here's something most people overlook. High sex drive is strongly linked with resilience to stress. When researchers measured cortisol, the hormone that spikes during anxiety, they found that women with stronger sexual desire return to baseline levels more quickly. Think about it. If she handles chaos, deadlines, or even awkward social moments without getting rattled, it's not just personality. Her nervous system may actually be tuned differently, and that resilience often overlaps with heightened libido. And if you think that's fascinating, wait until you see what shows up in her micro-habits with food. 18. She tends to add spice, literally. Studies on taste preference have found a correlation between women who enjoy strong flavors, especially spicier foods, and higher self-reported sexual desire. Why? It comes down to dopamine. Spices trigger the same reward pathways in the brain that sexual stimulation does. So, the woman who's sprinkling chili flakes on her pizza or ordering the spiciest curry isn't just making a bold food choice. Her sensory system is tuned to chase intensity, and that carries over far beyond the dinner table. But food is just the tip of the iceberg. The next sign hides in her body language when she's alone. 17. She fidgets when she's idle. Most people mistake fidgeting for nerves or boredom, but research shows that restless energy can be a byproduct of higher baseline arousal in the nervous system. Women with stronger sex drives often show this as subtle movement, tapping fingers, bouncing a leg, adjusting posture even when nothing's happening. It's not a conscious choice. It's the body leaking out the surplus energy that's always running under the surface. And once you notice it, you'll see it as one of those quiet but powerful tells. And if subtle movements say a lot, wait until you hear what her sleep patterns reveal. 16. She wakes up energized earlier than most. Here's a twist backed by chronobiology. Women with stronger libidos are more likely to show morning arousal. But it doesn't stop there. Many also wake up more refreshed and energetic overall. That's because sex hormones like testosterone and estradiol peak overnight, subtly fueling both energy and desire. So if she's up early, alert, and smiling while others are dragging themselves to the coffee machine, that morning spark might be more than just good sleep. And the signals don't only show up in the morning. Some of the most revealing ones come out in her sense of humor. 15. She laughs more freely. Research has long tied humor to sexual attraction. But here's the nuance. Women with high sex drives don't just laugh at jokes. They laugh bigger, louder, and more often. It's about lowered inhibition. That openness in laughter is linked to openness in intimacy. Think about it. Laughter is a physical release, a surrender to the moment. The easier and more uninhibited it comes, the more likely her brain is wired for openness in other areas too. But humor isn't the only unexpected clue. Another sign lives in how she handles ambition. 14. She sets stretch goals without apology. One study on motivation found a fascinating overlap. Women who score high in sexual desire also tend to set higher personal goals, even when those goals seem out of reach. It's not about arrogance, it's about drive itself. That hunger for growth, for pushing limits, is mirrored in sexual appetite. The same dopamine reward system that fuels ambition is the one that powers libido. So if she's constantly chasing the next skill, the next trip, the next promotion, she's likely wired to pursue intensity in multiple forms. And ambition isn't the only thing her brain broadcasts. There's an even quieter signal in how she pays attention to detail. 13. She notices textures others ignore. Here's something almost no one talks about. Women with strong sex drives often have heightened tactile awareness. They notice fabrics, surfaces, or small sensory details others gloss over. That heightened sensory processing is tied to greater arousability. Imagine someone running her hand along a new sweater and commenting on its softness, not just casually, but with focus. That depth of noticing touch shows how tuned her nervous system is to physical sensation. But that attention to texture is just one layer. What's even more surprising is how this shows up in her social circles. 12. She has more male friends than average. Before you jump to conclusions, this isn't about attraction to those friends. It's about comfort. Women with stronger sex drives often report feeling more at ease around male peers, not because they're seeking attention, but because their social confidence is naturally higher in mixed groups. It's the absence of fear, the lack of self-consciousness, that signals openness. And that kind of relaxed social dynamic often coexists with a stronger libido. But friendships aren't the only social indicator. There's a far subtler one hidden in how she reacts to silence. 11. She doesn't rush to fill pauses. Most people feel awkward when conversations go quiet, but women with high sex drives are often more comfortable holding silence. Why? Because heightened desire correlates with higher tolerance for tension, even pleasurable anticipation. That ability to sit calmly in a pause, without scrambling to fill it, mirrors the same capacity to linger in buildup and sensation. It's a psychological reflection of what her body already knows. And if holding silence says this much, wait until you see what her eyes give away without her realizing. 10. Her pupils respond more dramatically. This one is backed by hard data. In lab settings, women with higher sex drives show stronger pupil dilation when exposed to stimuli, even neutral ones. It's not something you can fake or control. The nervous system simply reacts with greater intensity. So, if you've ever noticed someone's eyes seeming to light up at things others barely register, that's more than just enthusiasm. It's biology revealing its baseline sensitivity. But eyes are only half the story, because the next sign is about what she seeks out in music, and it's a shocker. 9. She's drawn to bass-heavy rhythms. Neuroscience has shown that low-frequency sounds stimulate the body in unique ways, triggering physiological arousal beyond just hearing. Women with strong sex drives often prefer music with deeper bass or driving rhythms. It's not just taste, it's the body craving resonance. That beat doesn't just move her feet, it resonates with the nervous system in ways that mirror sexual stimulation. And speaking of rhythm, the next clue shows up in her movement, even when she doesn't notice she's doing it. 8. She sways without music. Some women subtly sway or shift their hips while standing, even in silence. Researchers call this self-generated rhythmic motion. It's a quiet sign of heightened body attunement, often found in women with stronger sex drives. It looks like a casual movement, almost unconscious, but it's really the body syncing itself to its own rhythm, the same rhythm that later plays a role in intimacy. And if subtle swaying feels surprising, what comes next is even more telling, because it shows up in her dreams. 7. Her dreams are more vivid. Sleep researchers discovered that women with stronger sexual desire also report more vivid, memorable dreams, sometimes even lucid ones. Why? Because higher baseline arousal leads to more REM activity, the sleep phase most linked with imagination. So if she frequently describes wild, colorful dreams that stick with her the next morning, that's not just creativity. It's her brain reflecting an underlying current of heightened desire. And if dreams give away that much, just wait until you see the physical clue she can't disguise. 6. Her skin flushes more easily. Whether it's from a glass of wine, a brisk walk, or even mild embarrassment, women with stronger sex drives tend to show more pronounced skin flushing. That's because blood vessels in the skin dilate more readily when the vascular system is primed by higher sexual hormone activity. It's subtle, but once you notice it, it becomes one of those tells that's hard to unsee. And yet, as revealing as skin can be, there's another sign that's even more quietly telling, and it hides in how she reads fiction. 5. She prefers immersive storytelling. When researchers compared reading habits, women with stronger libidos consistently favored novels or shows with deep character immersion. Not necessarily romance, but stories that allowed them to emotionally and sensorially enter another world. Why? Because imagination fuels arousal, and those with stronger drives naturally seek narratives that allow them to embody different perspectives. It's mental rehearsal for sensation. But if her bookshelf says this much, the next clue is even bolder, because it comes out in her posture. 4. She holds eye contact longer than most. Direct, unbroken eye contact can feel intense. Women with stronger sex drives are more comfortable holding it, even in casual interactions. That's because they're less prone to avoidance behaviors linked with inhibition. It doesn't mean she's flirting. It means she doesn't shy away from intensity, and that openness radiates in her gaze. But eye contact isn't the end of the story, because the next sign is one most people completely overlook, and it's hiding in her sense of timing. 3. She's quick to sense micropauses in conversation. You know those tiny openings in dialogue where someone could jump in? Women with stronger sex drives are often quicker to notice and use them. Linguists found they're slightly faster in conversational turn-taking, reflecting higher baseline engagement. It's not dominance, it's attunement. That instinct to leap into the moment mirrors the same attunement that drives sexual responsiveness. And as sharp as her timing is, it sets the stage for the next clue, one of the most unexpected yet powerful. 2. She daydreams in sensory detail. Most people drift off with vague thoughts, but women with strong sex drives often report daydreams full of texture, sound, and sensation. It's not just fantasy, it's the brain practicing intensity. That richness in imagination shows how tuned her mind is to experience, and it's one of the clearest windows into her deeper wiring. And trust me, if this one feels eye-opening, just wait for the final sign, because the number one reveal will change how you view desire forever. 1. She experiences pleasure spillover. This is the most surprising one of all, and science backs it up. Women with strong sex drives don't just confine that energy to intimacy. Their brains actually reroute it into other areas of life, creating what researchers call a spillover effect. What does that look like? It's the woman who bites into a piece of chocolate and sighs with genuine delight. It's the one who dances a little too long when her favorite song plays. It's the one who closes her eyes and savors the smell of fresh coffee more deeply than anyone else around her. This isn't just personality, it's neurology. The reward centers in her brain are primed to feel intensity in small pleasures, and that overflow shows up everywhere. She lives turned up to a higher volume, and it's not an act. And here's the kicker. This isn't something you can fake, because while someone can act adventurous or try to laugh louder, spillover is unconscious. It shows up when she doesn't think anyone's watching. That's why this final sign is the most revealing of them all. It's not just a behavior. It's a window into her entire way of experiencing life. Up next, discover how women respond when they want intimacy, or learn the signs a woman is trying to seduce you. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more.